Good morning, everybody, and what's up, people? Well, as you know, if I'm wearing a dress shirt and glasses, it's serious time. Well, today's serious time is lesson number 65 on how to profit in this stock trading environment. Lesson number one, in part 65 of our series of lessons learned in the world of day trading, if you have a idea, something that you've been cultivating, an idea that you've been waiting to execute, an idea that makes so much sense to you that you will be willing to risk, let's not just say your life, but you'd be willing to take more of a risk. A situation that you'd want to tell your friends about. A situation that you've been waiting for. That all the flashing bells and whistles and green and yellow lights and technical Bollinger Band statistics, anything you could possibly find, this is the moment that it is time to lay the money on the line. Lesson what I want to talk to you about is when you feel this confident, these are the moments where you need to grab your fucking balls. Okay? Now we're talking about Broadcom, and I know everybody wants to congratulate me, but just stop right there. Okay? Let's just stop right there. Relatively speaking, when we're talking about monetary things, if I could afford a certain amount of dollar amount to place in a trade, that's a relative term. What I mean is if I can afford to lay out $20,000 on a position that I believe in, then that could be somebody's life savings. That could be somebody's entire day trading account. That could be somebody's 5 times their account. What I'm trying to say is don't be a bitch. If you like a position, make that position a little bit larger. You think? You think you'd make that position just a little bit more. Add a little bit more money than you would normally go with on a normal position. Or, looking back, those times where you've taken those outlandish gambles, you've taken shots, you've given it a good try, you've gave it, what am I trying to say is, you probably had a situation where you put more money at risk on a position that you thought less of, right? So, point being is don't be a bitch! I'm sitting here looking at the Broadcom for 5 years now. Going back to the chart, let's look at the chart. Why don't you pull up a chart, Johnny? Thanks. Look at the 2007. There was a reason I was cultivating the Broadcom trade over the last 6 months, over the last year, waiting for the stock to break into 40s. And yeah, I've said that the stock looked like it was going to break into the 40s time and time again. But at the same time, we were always playing straddle, so we made some money on the way down when the stock didn't do what we wanted to. But this was a different situation. Now we are in midst of the greatest bull market that this country's ever seen and is ever going to see. This is going to make 2000 a fart in the wind. The 1980s rally, bullshit. This rally will take us all the way to 2000. This rally will not stop until everyone's on board. And you know what? There's still plenty of skeptics out there. Plenty. So, remember the lesson for today is don't be a bitch! Alright? If you're looking at a position and you're really, really enthusiastic about it, go for it. Balls to the fucking wall. Go big or go home. So buying 30 calls on a position where I thought a 10% move, and I was biased to the upside, and I was looking for a 10%. Why? The writing on the wall. The writing on the wall is the way I trade. The writing on the wall. Everywhere I was looking, about a month and a half ago, I was hearing good things about Google and hearing good things about the advertising online industry and how Google Android was doing that. The writing on the wall was there. The stock had not enjoyed the 2010 stupendous rally, and I was assuming that it would have to catch up. That's why the Google was a massive call. Now let's go look at the Broadcom. Broadcom is a situation where they have the chips that make the iPad go. They make chips that make communication things, products go. Phones, your smartphone, that everyone's going to have psoriasis in a couple of years because everyone walks around like this now, looking down at their phone, doing something. Point being is don't be a bitch! Alright? If you're putting, let's say, $1,000 into options on an idea that you feel okay about, if you're putting $2,000 on options play that you feel pretty good about, if you're putting $5,000 into a play, this would have been the play where you're going to do double that, double it. And here I was taking just an average, not even average, a minuscule position. And my thought process, even though this thought process has been proven to be incorrect at all times, is that I thought that I'd actually be able to come in the morning and trade the Broadcom. You know what that was? And when I saw it trading at 41.30 in the aftermarket, I said, okay, there's no way I'm going to screw this up unless they gap it only up to around 40 and makes me want to panic if it doesn't hold 40. And that's exactly what they did. It's like they knew what I was thinking. And I said, if this thing breaks 40, maybe it's going to pull a snail dick. So what I've been talking about over the last 3 weeks, and the reason I've made more money than the entire year in the last 3 weeks, is because I've been home. I have no office to go to. I've shut down my quote-unquote day trading accounts. I don't watch the green and yellow lights, the red lights, the blinking lights. I don't read the news. I don't watch market makers level 2s. I knew my price prediction on Broadcom was 43 going into November expiration, 50 probably by the end of the year, and there was no reason for me to look at the stock. But when I saw the stock getting weak, I put some stops on, which is basically a loser position. I know everybody who believes in stops believe that stops can save your life, but stops suck a big one because the matrix sees where you put your stops in, and the matrix brings your stock there to get your stock and then proceeds to go back up without you. Hey, why give the matrix an upper hand knowing where you want to sell? So there I was selling the Broadcom at 40, and then I put a stop on the last of my calls. If the stock broke 39.5, then the stock broke 39.5. My calls were executed pretty much at the low of the day. And then what did the company do? The stock continued to rally for the rest of the day. Yeah, that's right, I'm whining. I'm whining and bitching because I'm a bitch, if you haven't caught on. And the people that were long the Broadcom, I sent you guys an email, a personalized, pleasant email about how I'm thinking about selling at the open against my better judgment. And if it would have held 40, none of this I wouldn't even be having this conversation. If it would have held 40, I would have never, ever been thinking about getting rid of it. But based on what I saw in the snail dick, and a lot of these gaps are meant to be sold off, yes. A lot of times I'll gap a stock up and that'll be the high for the day. I lost track of what I was really planning on doing, was buying January calls on Broadcom to give me some time to hang on to them, not to sell them the next day, bitch. So what I'm proposing right now is if you're in a winning position and you're just tempted to sell, you can buy my new product, these gloves. With wearing these gloves, these will prevent you from actually executing any trades, because the trades will actually work out a lot worse for you because you're not going to be able to hit the key that you want to hit. So why even risk it? Put these gloves on when you have a winning position to prevent yourselves from hitting the fucking keys and being a bitch. Okay, thank you for playing. This is hitthebid.com. Please come to the website because there'll be many more. And right now, I have 3 positions left. Or let's say 4 positions, because obviously what I've been doing is the Qs. I'm still short the Qs. And I'm using them as a hedge against all these option positions. But you would think if I'm short 3,000 Qs, I should be long at least 3,000 fucking Broadcom minimum. And 100 calls. But there I was being a bitch again. Okay, but holding on to the Qs has proven one thing. I will never lose money on a long trade ever again. As long as I'm staying short the Qs, every trade I've done since I added to the Q short has gone up. So I don't know. If I sell the Qs and take this loss, will the market continue to go up without me? That is the eternal question. I have no idea. Bottom line. Oops, said bottom line. Didn't mean to. LLNW. RINOCBOE. I have 1 share of Google left just for shits, and I won't say that other phrase. And yeah. All right. So I was hoping to keep this video down long, but I don't think a 3 or 4 minute video would have given us the proper opportunity and the proper ways and means to embrace what I'm trying to get here is that I'm a fucking bitch. Understand? Understand where I'm coming from right now? I'm a bitch. I'm a little bitch. A little whiny, stupid bitch. But you can profit from me. So stay around. Come to the website and tell your friends what you saw here. The Broadcom. I sold it out for you guys. I knew some of you guys still had some calls left. And you were worried, oh, it was breaking 40. I was like, net, watch what I can do. I will sell it under 40, therefore ensuring profits for the rest of you. So anyway, yes, I'm going to hang on to 100 shares of Broadcom. And what does that mean to you? Whenever I have a 100 share lot, I generally make 50 points on the stock. If I go over 100 shares on the Broadcom, because I don't want to chase it now. But we're looking at LLNW to ride the coattails of the Akamai, and if they are making a name for themselves right now, Limelight Networks, as much as it's run away from us at a $5 stock now trading at $7.20, you'd think I'm out of my mind to tell you to get into this, but in this market, I have to say, yes, you have to keep buying it against all that is holy. Yes, you have to chase a stock that you just missed 40% in. And hey, coming off those lows, it's basically up 100% for the year, but none of that matters anymore in the greatest bull market that this country is ever going to see, because this is just, remember, what inning are we in? We're in inning 2, and Cliff Lee's getting fucked up. So don't be a bitch and think about it. Oh, as long as we got double dippers still out there, still if we got people that thinking that the housing market is going to cause the United States to crumble again. If they QE2 is as Bill Gross, right? We got to worry about what Bill Gross has to say. Bill Gross is still saying Dow 5,000. Remember Bill Gross? End of the world Bill Gross, Dow 5,000, possibly Dow 3,000 when the market was going down. Great to be coming out of the wood, or not out of the woodwork, but great to be saying Dow 5,000 and 3,000 when we had already fallen to 6,000, 7,000. Anyway, as long as Bill Gross, as long as there's people out there saying how awful everything is, we'll never, ever, ever go down. But when that day comes, and Business Week's headline says, when Business Week says, will this rally ever end? Is this market for real? Everybody get into the stock market, or you're going to be left in the cold. When Business Week puts that on the front page, the greatest bull market of all time, that will be a short-term top. And what I mean, short-term top, what do you think? For every day that we sell off, if it lasts 2-3 days, we'll go up 10. If we go down for a week, we'll go up for 20 weeks. If we go down for a month, if we have another August, you get what we have right now. As long as we can scare the shit out of as many people as you possibly can. So the more people that get scared, and then they start to build their short positions again, then they get fucked, and we go right back up. And once again, today could be that day where we actually have a pullback. And maybe we could start that 3-day sell-off. I don't think it's ever going to come at this point, because there's too many companies reporting great numbers, right? Buying on dips is still working, so why not continue to do it, right? Don't stop doing what works until it doesn't work anymore. And buy and hold is back. America's super duper. And don't believe the skeptics, just believe this guy, and put your goddamn gloves on when you have a winning trade so you don't take profits too quickly. And I know you can't go broke taking a profit, but you know what you can be? A fucking bitch!
I would much prefer Krull.